Thank you very much. Thank you. So today we're going to talk about solar-powered solutions for food security and carbon neutrality. And at the end of the day, solar power is very important. It's the greatest source of energy, and we found very efficient ways to convert that into food and solve a lot of food security problems, along with carbon neutrality. So we are Cultivatix, and we specialize in ultra efficient distributed farming systems. And we focus mostly on technology for small and medium farms. Small farms are up to 10 hectares, and then medium farms are up to 50 hectares. And the reason why we do this is because 80% of our food is grown by small and medium farmers. So all the technology that you see for farming is usually done for commodities and industrialized farming, but the people that are growing our food are not getting any technology. And so we're part of a network because we have many different components. We got a lot of universities in our ecosystem that work with us. And our goal is to enable local grown food in any type of environment, and even in environments as far as Qatar. Part of our concept is to provide a pathway to a circular economy that fits for all communities. Why are we here? Well, because normally to grow 6 ounces of produce, which is about 170 grams, you're going to use 20 kilowatts, and we can do it at 1.74 kilowatts. And what happens is, if we cut the power draw by 10, then we can use solar power. And that changes the dynamics and the economics. Why are we focused in our farming systems? Well, because most farms are centralized, and it's been industrialized, commodified, and there's a lot of problems. We have a harvesting, we're prioritizing shelf life, with monocropping, we have lower varieties of foods, we have a very high carbon footprint. And then we have synthetic fertilizers. And then the problem is that the chain that you see here, the value chain, both in the HoReCa and grocery industries, are extremely long and extremely carbon intensive. The challenges that Qatar has is first the reliance on desalinated water, which really impacts because it makes us one of the highest CO2 emission countries in the world. We have harvested, we bring vegetables from very long chains, and that has a problem because the vegetables lose 80% of the nutrition within the first 48 hours. So when you eat salads, they're not very good because they've taken too long in harvesting. We have a huge supply chain, and then we have a push from the market. People are on social media and they're learning about the importance of healthy vegetables. So they know now and they're demanding new options. The future, the solutions that are coming is to be able to localize production. And localized production, we mean hyper-local, we think it's 150 miles from the point of consumption. We have all these huge farms that are being built, but again, it's creating the same problem, the same monocropping problem, right? We need to decentralize it. We have structures that give us high performance, reduced emissions, that enable our self-sufficiency, and that stimulate our local economies, because if we grow our own food, our people have jobs, our people have work, and we keep our own resources, and that's the future. We need to maintain that. When we create circular economies, the idea is that we create a self-loop, and again, in point number 3, you see that it's powered by technological innovations, and that's what we're at. Not all controlled environment is optimal. These are regular Dutch greenhouses, and 80% of the problems that come from controlled environments is because of the environment itself. The problem is that most people don't understand thermodynamics. It's very complex. And so that's why the solutions that come to market are like this. But this is really not the future. What we've developed is called our core technologies, climate optimized regenerative environments. And they're a series of very high performance microenvironment modules. And essentially our systems are corrosion free. We have bio-based polymers. Now we have 23 and 61% bio-based. They're very lightweight, so you can put them up anywhere, right? They have a very unique multi-mechanism and insulation system that combines convective, radiative insulation along with conductive insulation. And at the same time, we're using a new coating with ceramic microspheres. And so when you combine it in a very thin format, you get extremely high performance. At the same time, it's a dome structure, and that gives us convection. And what convection does is it creates unassisted airflow, so the plants get better air. We don't have the same problems or certification problems that you have in commercial greenhouses. We have a passive airflow. Our colleagues are antibacterial as well, so we solve much of the problem of pesticides without using them at all. Then we have a reflective, 81% reflective structure that allows us to use 40% less light. That's why one of the elements that helps us to perform what we do with solar energy. And they're very quiet, so we eliminate plant stress completely, and they're very resistant. We've done wind testing of this, and they are supported through Cat 3 and high snow loads. We combine this with special technology called PhytoBoost. And PhytoBoost was actually developed at MIT, and it was a technology developed for arthritis, to develop tissue in arthritis. And basically what it does is a penetrative spectrum that goes through the plant tissue, right? And as you can see in the comparison, this is the regular lights on the right. These are the penetrative spectrum. And I'm showing you part of it. I mean, some of the stuff we keep our own IP, but there's certain spectrums that are synergistic. When you combine them, they act and they actually get extremely powerful, extremely strong, right? And they give us greater amount of photosynthesis. So this particular spectrum increases plant retention. It has a quicker CO2 uptake. It takes away the canopy effect. It has no heat. And so we use no heat, so you have less power, and it allows you to go solar. So we've developed different types of applications: horizontal, vertical, volumetric farming systems. Our vertical system, basically, it's a fertigation system. It's very unique because plants grow in organic matter, and they develop microbiome. And microbiome is what allows the plants to be uptake. People favor hydroponics and aeroponics, but they're really old technologies. And part of the problem is that they don't create a microbiome within the plant root. So the plants can really absorb the nutrients. The nutrients are there, but they just can't really be absorbed by plants. It also allows us to be polyvarietal, because that means that we can get away from monocropping, and you can grow many different things at the same time, with the same protocol, with the same knowledge. So it really empowers farmers to bring varieties to the market. And we have rapid growth cycles. So as you know, the growth cycles, if we have more harvests, we have a better economic model for our communities. In this particular case, our system gives them 33 harvests a year at least, right? They harvest less, but they harvest more times. So it changes the financial aspect for our small farmers. We get 2.5 times the shelf life, and then we're using 95% less water. What can we do at the same time? Well, all of this stuff. We've been working for many years trying to put this together, right? And you can grow all of these at the same time with the same system. So that gives communities a lot of flexibility. We've also created a horizontal application that after the show, you're very well invited to see it. We're going to have our first farm installed in 2 weeks here to grow fodder. Basically, there's aeroponic trays, and they're very unique because they use a recirculating system that uses 48 times less water. I mean, right now there's Qatar, and I believe Saudi, they're bringing the fodder from California. And what happens is most of the nutrients are lost during the drying process. Yes, companies will tell you, well, there's a lot of protein there. Yes, sure. But there's a lot of vitamins and minerals that are not there. They evaporate within the plant root, so when they're dry. So this gives you fresher, it gives you huge gains in terms of the performance of the cow, or the cattle. It supports various crops. We can do barley, alfalfa, and then we can also do microgreens as well. And it's also very high performance. We do it in about 5 to 6 days, depending on the plant. And we do 420 tons of alfalfa in 140 square meters, which is a tremendous performance. Each module runs like that. We do 280 tons of barley, and then if you're growing microgreens, we do about 54,000 trays a year. We do volumetric applications. Downstairs, you see one of our tanks. These are very sophisticated bioreactors, and they combine basically the principles of pyramid, bubble column, PBR. They run with 18,500 liters per unit, and they use 100 micron or 10 micron nanobubbles. So algae are like photosynthesis machines, right? They don't have any leaves, they don't have any branches, so they operate very fast. And we combine this with variable spectrum lighting system, which actually allows the lighting to adapt to the cycle of the algae. And we can feed the algae with CO2. We can feed it from CO2 from coal plants, from power plants, and so it's a huge decarbonization tool, and it allows you to create a circular economy. We can grow a lot of medical precursors, like all the algae that you see here, right? And we sequester CO2, but we convert that CO2. Instead of burying it in the ground, we convert it into valued products to help local economies. Why is this important? Well, when you do this and you actually run it completely solar, you're changing the economy. And what happens is next year you're going to hit by this guy here, the carbon border adjustment mechanism. And in Qatar, you export iron and you export aluminum, and you're going to get hit with 35% tariffs after 2026, right? This is going to be a game changer. It is very, very important for this region of the world to decarbonize, because if you begin to generate a tremendous amount of credits with all of your systems, all your farming systems, then you can balance out all your exports. How does it look like in numbers? Well, this is what it's going to look like. If you use our systems, our green sphere system, you're eliminating 99% of your GHGs, right? 91% of your capital savings. At the same time, you're growing your fodder locally instead of bringing it from California. You're going to save 53% of capital savings, 99.9% of your land savings, and then 98% of your water. And then at the same, if you're growing poultry, you're going to get 50%, 98%, and 97%. And these are all claimable. These are all claimable and valid offsets that you can put in the market and can balance off your exports. And when you power this with the solar system, it creates opportunities for local solar companies. It creates opportunities for your local farmers, and it also creates opportunities to offset all the carbon generated by your exports. So we create a circular economy to help the region advance. Thank you.